We're the largest snacking company in the world.
That everyone in the business is a leader and have a role to play.
So it just naturally made sense that, my career would progress.
And I wish someone had told me when I was in high school that that was an option.
It's all about maintaining relationships and
have such a wide array of academic backgrounds in the CCAS.
A strong network of women here to help you.
Hey guys, so today we're joined by Renee from Affinity Education. Thank you so much for joining us today, Renee.
Thank you for having me.
So what's your role at Affinity?
So I am the Talent Acquisition Manager for Affinity. So I oversee the recruitment function. We have a team of about 4 at the moment who operate and oversee recruitment for different states. Yeah, it's challenging, but definitely rewarding.
Yeah, great. So why would you say that someone would consider working in the early childhood education and care sector, and in particular for Affinity?
Sure. Look, I think the early childhood education sector is a perfect balance between, I guess, challenging and a satisfying and rewarding industry to work within. I think it provides many opportunities for educators to move towards different career pathways, whether it's to aspire to be a room leader, or maybe their passion is to work with the older age group, so your kinder and your preschool age as an early childhood teacher, or even a desire to work within a senior management role, such as a centre manager or area manager. I think that's really attractive to a lot of people in the industry.
Yeah. And when you're at high school, what sort of subjects can you study that would prepare you for a career or a career as an educator?
Yeah, so there aren't any formal requirements to, work within our sector, work within the early childhood sector. I think, though, that having the basics, of maths and English, those fundamentals, would help prepare educators to, plan and develop those learning experiences for the children. It would really help with your communication, when you are discussing those learning outcomes to families, and just helping you to build those relationships with families and the staff within the centres as well. So I think having the fundamentals of maths and English would be really beneficial. So
yeah. Now I've got 2 kids, so I know that a personal attribute to work with kids would need to be patience. What other personal attributes do you think you need to be successful as an educator?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I think, communication is really important. I think that at the end of the day, you're supporting children with their development, and you need to obviously be able to work with families and staff to explain that. So, effective communication is definitely one of those. I think enjoying working within a team environment. Working in the early childhood sector, it is all about community, and especially working with Affinity, we are a family as such. So I think if you enjoy working within a team, you're going to thrive. Being flexible and adaptable, I think, is something key. Something also that's key, and being able, and also a positive attitude. I think that's. Anyone who is really interested in working within the sector, you show up to the centre every day with that attitude. The families and the children will sense that, so that's really important. So I think those would be kind of key.
Yeah, definitely. And what would a sort of typical day in the life of an educator look like?
Yeah, sure. Our centres are open kind of from as early as 6 o'clock in the morning, or, as late as 6 o'clock at night. So I think, depending on when you start, you could be in really early. You'd be starting your day by, planning what kind of activities you're about to, prepare for the children. You could be in a float role, so you could actually be working across different rooms, which I think is a really great opportunity for educators to kind of find what their interests would be in terms of the age groups as well. So you would be, you know, supporting the room leader and other educators to supervise children. You'd be creating those, you know, those learning program experiences for the children. You'd be just working really closely with the individual children as well and their needs, and building relationships with the children and also their families. I think that's probably your day. And then what we also encourage is improvements within the centre, and, you know, any kind of improvements to our programs and processes. So that's something that we encourage educators to, you know, offer that feedback as well, so that we can look at making those changes.
Yeah, cool. And what do you think motivates and provides satisfaction for educators?
Yeah, sure. Look, I think in my experience, I've been able to provide opportunities to progress within the organisation is obviously definitely common. Being able to show that there is a career pathway, you can progress, that's 100% something that I've seen that really motivates our staff. Yeah. I think having the tools and systems and programs in place to support our educators in their role and to obviously reach their full potential is also something that motivates them to keep, you know, doing their best. Recognition, you know, from not only your colleagues, you know, management, but also our centre support staff as well. So I think educators, you know, they want to know that they're doing the right thing, or if they are doing a great job, you know, we recognise them for that. So I think that's really important. And I think just with the industry that we work within, a flexible, being flexible and being able to offer, you know, flexible working arrangements, I think also helps educators. They can plan their days and their weeks. That's really important from what I've seen.
Yeah. And what advice would you give school students out there who are considering a career with Affinity Education Group and also as an early childhood educator? Yeah,
sure. Look, I think give it a go. As I've kind of mentioned earlier, there are many opportunities to progress. So you don't, you know, I think at the moment with the education sector, in particular with early childhood, there is still a bit of stigma around that you're just looking after children, you're babysitting in a sense, and it's more than that. Yeah. So, you know, we do offer programs and study opportunities so that you can actually study with Affinity and become qualified, whether that's your Cert 3, whether that's a diploma, whether that's a bachelor even, you know, to become an early childhood teacher. There are definitely pathways there and definitely opportunities there to actually progress and have a career. So I'm just trying to change that mindset and thinking around the industry. Yeah. What we're trying to focus on, I think.
Yeah, definitely. And what would you say working for Affinity is different than working for any other employers? What makes you guys stand out?
Well, I love this question because I truly believe this is something that does set us apart. So our culture is fantastic. So Affinity, I think I mentioned it earlier, but we've created more than just a community of employees. We are a family. So we, you know, whether you're an educator, you're a, you know, area manager, a corporate staff member, we do feel as if we are connected. One of our values is being completely connected, and I can proudly say that we work together to openly share information and network at every opportunity. We have an internal networking platform called Jam, and it's a platform where all of our staff are able to share their knowledge and what they're doing at the centres, what we're doing at head office, and this is actually something that's driven by our CEO, Tim Hickey. So he is very connected with all of the educators. He's out there on visits, he's on the Jam platform, and he's commenting on, you know, every post that's on there.
That is so cool.
Yeah, it is. It's really awesome. And I think that having a leader that is so connected with his staff, with the people. Obviously that filters down, and I guess that's just the culture that we have. So I think that's something that to be really proud of. And again, I think that because we have a network of centres across Australia, I think we're able to offer different opportunities, not just career pathways, but to transfer. So if we know someone's relocating, we don't let them go.
Yeah.
We move them to another centre if it's down the road, if it's interstate.
Yeah.
We do our best to keep our educators with us. So yeah.
Oh, it sounds like a wonderful place to work, and thank you so much for giving us a bit of an insight into that. And hopefully we can inspire some students at school to consider a career with Affinity once they've finished their studies.
Yes, I hope so.
Thanks, Renee.
Thank you.